Hello and welcome to Making Remote Work. My name is Jordan, and today I'm joined by Erika Williams and Tracy Holmgren. Erika is the founder and managing partner of Alberio, and Tracy is her senior executive assistant. And Tracy, you do such amazing work. And Erika, you have built such an incredible team, and so I'm so excited to introduce everyone to it. Can you give us the inside scoop, Erika, on what Alberio does and how you started it?
Sure. So, Alberio is a management consulting practice working specifically with the social purpose sector. So we work with foundations, nonprofits, government agencies, schools, universities, really with the intent of helping them to deliver their mission.
What led you to working with Boldly? What was the thing that made you, okay, we need to increase capacity even more?
Really, demand was picking up and business was picking up. And to be honest, Jordan, I was just feeling overwhelmed. So I really started reaching out to my professional network, just asking people, hey, do you know anyone? How's it working? And it was actually a client who suggested, oh, we work with this really great team called Boldly, and we've been really impressed by the services that they provide. And so I did. They were super responsive. They asked me a lot of questions. You can tell that they were really trying to make the perfect match. It was almost like, a dating site, right? Like they're trying to figure out the perfect match for you. And so I said I needed someone funny. I needed someone who was industrious and smart and who could write well. And so they were like, yep, I think we have the perfect person for you. And also someone within my time zone, because sometimes that can get complicated. And so they were like, I think we have the perfect person for you. We have a couple people that you can choose from. I had a conversation with Tracy in the first 15 minutes. I was like, yep, I love her. She's the one. And we've been inseparable ever since.
That's amazing. Tracy, what was the first meeting like for you, and how has the relationship blossomed? Because it sounds like you're doing so much together.
We are. And you know what? Erika is totally right. In the first 15 minutes that we spoke to each other, I loved her. I wanted to support her. I wanted to help her grow her business. I wanted to be part of her team. We just had a synergy from the very beginning. We think a lot alike. We operate a lot alike. We get along like a house on fire, for sure. And you go into those meetings, as much as Erika was interviewing me with Boldly, I also have the opportunity to interview the people that I'm going to support. So if I had felt that it wasn't right for me, I would have been able to say that. But no, it was fantastic right from the beginning. I believe in her work. I believe in everything that she's doing.
And I love to hear like how positive that is from when you start, but obviously we work in the real world. It's 2020, and so there are problems. And so what kind of problems have arisen that you've been able to solve together? Maybe Erika, even with the growth is hard. Like growth is so hard. And so how have you and Tracy worked through some of the pain points around growing, or maybe even some projects together?
For me, I think, getting to a point where just trying to have better balance in terms of creating time to not just meet. We're in a Zoom world. We're in a teleconference world. Everyone wants to get on a call. And during this pandemic, it's like you can be in calls back to back to back to back to back. Which leaves very little room to actually do the work that comes out of the call you were just in. Tracy has been really good about protecting my time and protecting my schedule, right? And I needed that. Like, she creates work blocks for me. I think I'm giving away some trade secrets here, but she creates work blocks for me so that, it maybe appear to clients that I'm busy, and I am, because I'm actually trying to get pen to paper and strategically think about what they need, and I can't be on a Zoom call for 90 minutes. But there are some times, I remember a couple of weeks ago where someone was trying to get on my calendar and we really needed to talk. And I was like, Tracy's like, nope, she has a work block. She's busy. She can't talk. And I'm like, Tracy, let go of the reins. I need to actually have this call. And she was like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes, Tracy, I actually need to have this call. So there are moments like that where clearly your executive assistant has your best interest at heart, and they're trying to protect your time so that you can be better at what you do. And then there are times where, you know, there just might be a misfire, right? Where you just need to level set, get on the same page. And what's beautiful about Tracy and our relationship is that we're constantly like texting, right? So like I can text her and say, Tracy, let go. Like I really need to have this meeting. And she was like, oh, okay. Like, and so it's really nice that we have that open lines of communication. So even though we're virtual and remote, and texting, the open lines of communication really help us get through any hiccups that may occur.
I love that idea that like, Tracy, you're so invested in like, no. Listen, you did what? Yeah. Talk about protecting that time and like how you see it. Because I bet you can see, like, I bet the demands on Erika's time, she could probably be working, 36 hours a day.
Well, and that's exactly right. And I've taken it very personally to protect Erika. I really have. And it is very important to me to make sure that she has time to think and to write and to actually do what she's supposed to do, and the demands on her time are really crazy. They're ridiculous. Her inbox fills with thousands of emails in a week, like literally thousands. And I've decided that I must keep her sane. So I do have a very strong hold on her calendar. And, it's important to me. I think the other thing with Erika that I really love is that because there's always a curve to learning a new business when you're starting with somebody else. And for other people that are maybe working remotely, and when you're not sitting right beside somebody, if I make an error at something, I tell Erika instantly, right away, straight away, and hopefully have told her before she's seen it. And I think that's really important. And if Erika has seen something or needs me to fix something, she's able to tell me the same thing, and we can run with it. And that's really that's a saving grace with what I do remotely. And I love that about Erika. We can like absolutely, tell each other the good, the bad, and the ugly, and it's all good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would love to hear what's your best advice, Erika, for executives and new team members to work remotely and productively together? Because that was super good advice, Tracy. So what would your best tip be?
The kind of advice that I would give for people who are just coming into this is that you do have to create space for the other person to be honest and to be open. And you also need to be honest and open about what you need, because they are there to partner with you. And it's the same thing I would tell my clients, right? Like my clients need to be able to be open, to be honest about what they need. If there's ever a time that I'm not meeting their expectations, they have to tell me sooner rather than later so that we can course correct. And I think that's true for any, executive assistant and the person that they're supporting, that you have to be open, honest, and direct. I believe in open feedback as often as possible. Because it really does make for a better relationship down the road. I pretty much tell Tracy everything that's happening in my life, because it matters. Like, particularly in this time where we're working remotely and virtually, like my 2-year-old and 4-year-old could be coming in at any moment. That's part of my life. Like, that is what's happening. Tracy needs to be aware of what's going on in my life. So, being open, try not to shut off anything, because it just helps you get better in your relationship. And it makes for a better outcome, I think, in terms of your ability to maximize your productivity when you do have those open lines of communication.
Yeah, and that absolutely works both ways, because I have 4 kids. The school is staggered. They go 2 days one week, 3 days another week. Erika totally gets it. If somebody, needs something for a second, she's totally good with that. And it works the same way with me, with her kids. We talk about our personal lives. And I think when you're remote, we need connection with people.
Well, Tracy, Erika, thank you so much for spending some time with us, because that's how you make remote work. That was absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.